Previously on Meerkat Manor. Flower gave birth to her second litter of the year. And following her eviction from the group, Flower's pregnant daughter Mozart is struggling to survive on her own. The magnificent Kalahari Desert in South Africa is home to a unique group of wild meerkats known as the Whiskers. Just like any other group of meerkats, they eke out a living from the sandy soil. But what makes them special is that they've been part of a study by Cambridge University for more than 10 years. Head of this 40-strong family is matriarch Flower. She wears a radio collar so that researchers can track the gang's movements. And with our cameras watching the Whiskers 24 hours a day, we're beginning to unravel the complex relationships which band together this amazing group of animals. As night draws in, a heavy thunderstorm rolls over the Kalahari. Deep underground, the Whiskers are in for a long, sleepless night. With the temperature dropping, they huddle together to keep warm. But one meerkat is left out in the cold. Pregnant and isolated from the group, Mozart will have to weather the storm alone. With the birth of her pups just weeks away, she may not make it through the night. It's early morning and the worst of the storms have retreated. The arrival of the summer rains has marked a major change in the Kalahari calendar. After 5 dry months, the recent rains mean not only the end of the harsh winter, but also an abundance of food. Not everyone has survived the winter, but those who have can enjoy a change for the better. But for one of the Kalahari's inhabitants, the rains have made little difference. Mozart has made it through the night, but she's suffered alone. Having been evicted from the Whiskers whilst pregnant, she's spent the last 4 weeks outside the group. She's struggled to find enough food, and last night, the strain of her eviction finally took its toll. Mozart has miscarried her pups. As she tries to warm herself in the morning sun, her need to get back into the group is stronger than ever. At a nearby burrow, the rest of the Whiskers are finally up and about. While some tidy up the burrow, others are sunning themselves after the cold night. Dark skin and short fur on their bellies help them heat up faster in the morning sun. As Flower gave birth here only 2 days ago, the group will be staying at this burrow for at least another 3 weeks until her newborn litter are big enough to move. With the group checked into their digs for the foreseeable future, and with no fewer than 40 guests to accommodate, it's crucial to keep the place in tip-top condition. By forming a line and working together, the chain gang can shift a lot more sand. With the burrow work done and everyone warmed through, it's soon time for the group to set off in search of breakfast. But not everyone will be eating out today. Staying behind to look after Flower's latest pups are Sophie and Spud. The Whiskers are heading towards the dry riverbed, where yesterday they had a successful day foraging. Although the pups from Flower's first litter have been finding some food for themselves, it's easier to hassle the grown-ups for breakfast. Pup persistence has always worked in the past, but today it seems the adults aren't going to give in so easily. At nearly 3 months old, it's time these pups learned to fend for themselves. With nothing more than a cold shoulder from his big brothers and sisters, Achilles eventually gets the message. If he wants a meal today, he'll have to get his paws dirty. For a young meerkat like Achilles, a few tasty ant larvae could be the easiest option. But this meal isn't going to give up without a fight. And it's not long before the ants have found his fabled weak spot. With ants biting his ankles, he turns on his heels and legs it. Whilst the rest of the group continue foraging, Mitch is keeping a careful eye out for danger. As a mature member of the group, he's an experienced and reliable sentry. Climbing a dead tree provides a better vantage point to keep watch. But there are always distractions. Young Attila is keen to get in on the action. It's his first climbing attempt and he's looking like a pro. Having reached the summit, he gets to see the world from a new perspective. But when you're only 6 centimeters tall, it's a long way down. Perhaps he'd have been better off staying on solid ground with his sisters, Chutney and Mango. Achilles wants a piece of the action too, but he can't quite get to grips with the climbing. While Achilles wants up, Attila wants out. Mitch shows him how it's done, and with a little encouragement, Attila makes a less than graceful descent. With the youngster out of harm's way, Mitch can get back to his sentry duties. But while Mitch has been preoccupied with the pups, in the distance, someone else has been watching the group. It's Mozart. She's found the Whiskers' foragers and is desperate to rejoin them. Living alone has cost her dearly. She's lost her unborn litter and is struggling to survive. Perhaps now that Flower's given birth, she'll be more accommodating. An extra pair of paws to help raise her kids may be Mozart's ticket back into the Whiskers. This is her best chance of returning. Mozart makes her move, but little does she realize, She too is being watched. It's Carlos from the lazuli. While the Whiskers continue foraging, they are unaware that Mozart's making steady progress towards them. Having been on the receiving end of Flower's temper in the past, Mozart is understandably cautious. If she moves too soon and Flower's not ready to allow her back, she may risk being chased off for good. But as Mozart creeps closer to her group, Carlos has been closing in on her. This lazuli love cat is infamous for his Casanova antics with the Whiskers ladies. Carlos wastes no time in making his move. Having just lost her litter, this is the last thing Mozart needs. If the group see her with Carlos, she'll have little hope of returning to her family. But to Carlos, Mozart's predicament is of little concern. For him, the allure of an unattended female is too much to resist. As soon as he catches up with Mozart, he makes his intentions clear. But Mozart is showing little interest. Her main priority is to get back to her family. If she wants to rejoin the group, she can't allow her head to be turned. But Carlos is nothing if not persistent. He tries a bit more persuasive charm, but Mozart's chattering means he isn't getting anywhere. It looks like Carlos's luck with the ladies is definitely running out. But he won't be giving up that easily. Back at the main group, the Whiskers foragers have spread out across the riverbed in search of food. Mitch is still on sentry duty, but he's moved to a more precarious post. Nevertheless, his vigilance pays off. He spots a predator and quickly raises the alarm. As the Goshawk flies overhead, everyone scatters to their nearest bolt hole. But with the group foraging over such a large area, the gang split and head in different directions. Flower, the pups, and just a few adults have safely made it to one bolt hole, while Mitch and the majority of the Whiskers group have crammed into another. Pookie, from Flower's small group, is first to check for danger, but with the Goshawk just meters away, it's far too risky to leave. At the other bolt hole, Mitch is heading for the entrance. He cautiously emerges and scans the skies. He can see the Goshawk is a long way off, and in the absence of an alarm call, the others know it's safe to join him. With the bird out of striking distance, Mitch's gang gather by the bolt hole and wait for the predator's next move. While some watch, others clear the bolt hole entrances to ensure they remain accessible for the next emergency. With the element of surprise long gone, and all eyes on him, the Goshawk eventually gives up and leaves. And with the danger past, Mitch's gang can finally get back to foraging. At the other bolt hole, the rest of the Whiskers are still below ground and are unaware the predator has left. With youngsters in tow, Flower's not taking any chances. They won't be moving a muscle until they're sure it's safe to come out. Back at the main burrow, babysitters Sophie and Spud have had a pretty uneventful day. With Flower's latest litter safely tucked away below ground, there's not much to do other than catch up on some grooming. Suddenly, a mystery meerkat appears close to the burrow. Not knowing who the stranger is, the babysitters head below ground to protect Flower's pups. But this meerkat is one of their own. It's Mozart. Having shaken off the amorous advances of Carlos, she's found her way to the Whiskers' main burrow. Nervously, Mozart moves towards the entrance, but it's a big gamble. As she heads below ground, there's no way of knowing how the babysitters will react to her. Meanwhile, at a bolt hole close to the riverbed, Flower's small gang have finally plucked up the courage to check if the coast is clear. Columbus is first to venture outside. With no sign of the Goshawk, the rest of the small group start to appear. Flower's little gang may have escaped the predator, but their bolt for safety has led them deep into Commandos territory. And there's no sign of the rest of the Whiskers. With just a few adults to safeguard the pups, they need to get home. As they make their way back, everyone's extremely nervous. If they get caught behind enemy lines now, the consequences could be fatal. They've made it to the edge of Commando's territory, but they still have to cross the dry riverbed to get home. As they make their descent into the open area, some of the adults anxiously keep watch. With fewer places to take cover, the group moves quickly, keeping the pups close. Luckily, everyone has made it safely across the riverbed, but they're not out of the danger zone yet. Columbus spots trouble and raises the alarm. On the other side of the riverbed is the entire Commando regiment, led by Hannibal. They've seen Flower's small gang. Tails raised and ready for battle, the Commandos size up the opposition. With most of the Whiskers missing in action, this is the Commandos' big chance to eliminate the competition and steal their land. They charge across the riverbed and head straight for the Whiskers. Heavily outnumbered and with Pups to consider, Flower's small gang have no choice but to retreat. As the Commandos close in, the Whiskers make for a small burrow and once again are forced to go below ground. The Commandos storm the burrow and immediately set about digging out the small gang. If they can get at the Whiskers, they will kill whoever they catch. Completely cornered, Flower and the adults bravely defend the entrance. If they can keep the Commandos from entering the burrow, they may stand a chance. But hopelessly outnumbered, Flower and the adults are forced further down into the burrow. If the Commandos get past Flower, her Pups would be an easy target. As more Commandos pour down the entrance, things are looking increasingly desperate for Flower's little group. Next time on Meerkat Manor, the Whiskers' battle with the Commandos ends in tragedy, and the gang come face to face with their most deadly predator.